and welcome. My name is Cassie Rokoltz, and I am the Director of Product Management here at Edmentum. And it is my joy and pleasure, in concert with my friends and colleagues, Linnell Morgenthaler, Vice President of Learning Design, Dr. Audra Kosh, Head of Research Science, and Brandy Villery, Product Portfolio Owner, to provide you an early look at what we've been busy preparing for in one of our biggest summer releases of ExactPath, just in time for the 2020-2021 school year. The upcoming ExactPath summer and fall releases support our ongoing mission with this program to meet students where they are and make learning personal. Whether learning takes place at home, during school closures, or in a physical classroom, students deserve individualized remediation, reinforcement, and enrichment that meets their unique learning needs. This aim is continually elevated with features and enhancements carefully crafted based on the needs of you, our educator partners. Updates are focused in three primary areas: efficiency, access, and differentiation. Time is the most precious asset in the classroom, and as educators, you can't afford to waste any second. That is why we've strived this summer to make refinements in shortening assessment length, adding additional test reset features, and batch printing of certificates, remove administrative burden for more focused time providing student support. Quick, faster, and stronger access everywhere where learning occurs, in the classroom, at home, and on the go, providing access to parents and learners alike so they can use the data to drive individual and whole class goals, and make certain that access is streamlined and supports the spirit of a more continuous learning. We are constantly adding to our learning lessons and modules, utilizing new characters and diverse instructional approaches to empower more engaged and motivated learners. We provide state-of-the-art and refreshed materials to increase that engagement. But before we dive into what's new this summer, I want to turn it over to Linnell to provide a look under the hood of ExactPath.
Thanks, Cassie. ExactPath is a personalized learning software that harnesses the power of computer adaptive assessment in math, reading, or language arts to find the just right learning entry point for each learner. Not only is the learner placed at the right entry point for learning in a subject area like math, the student actually receives a unique starting point for each of up to 7 domains within math. For example, really pinpointing student needs. At the heart of ExactPath is a very important research-based concept called mastery learning, meeting each student's unique learning needs and skipping over anything the student might already know. The focus is ideal in our current environment, in which we're not quite sure what each student has mastered during our at-home learning environment. ExactPath's learning design includes a 3-part lesson design featuring explicit instruction to explain and model the focus skill, deliberate practice that allows students to apply their knowledge to different aspects of the skill, and a mastery quiz that confirms that the student was able to learn the lesson. A unique, even deeper personalization, a learning scaffold, occurs if the student continues to struggle. We understand that when this happens, this could well be a sign that the student is missing a foundational prerequisite skill that underpins the current learning, a building block, as it were. Kind of the way you have to understand the concept of a fraction before you can be successful with adding or subtracting fractions. When the building block lesson has been mastered, the student returns to the original skill, this time taking a new lesson on the same skill, a reteach lesson, that uses a different approach to teaching the skill after the progress check. This type of responsive instruction is a hallmark of mastery learning. So Cassie, back to you.
The Edmentum integrations team has been feverishly working behind the scenes to make the lives of educators easier. Coming as part of our summer 2020 software release, courseware and ExactPath will feature enhanced single sign-on capabilities. Students, teachers and administrators can use their school-issued Gmail or Office 365 accounts, enabling a higher level of integration between classroom software applications. Single sign-on provides an increased level of student data security and streamlines classroom technology use, ultimately reducing downtime and maximizing time for instruction. Our research and design team is always analyzing ways in which we can create more efficiencies in our solutions and making improvements to our state-of-the-art computer adaptive testing methods. Changes this summer will shorten our diagnostic up to 15% while maintaining the same level of precision on the scale score that educators receive today. Audra, would you please share a little more regarding how we are able to trim off some of that administrative time to our diagnostic assessment?
Our research team is always working to stay up to date on the latest methods in psychometrics. You may already know that the ExactPath diagnostic test uses an algorithm to determine which questions to administer to students, and the algorithm estimates student ability after each question the student responds to. Once that ability estimate reaches a targeted level of precision, the test stops. This summer, we're implementing a behind-the-scenes change to the way the diagnostic algorithm works that uses the most modern methods in educational measurement. The test will look the same to students, but the great news is that the test will be shorter by up to 15%. The exact amount varies based on the unique testing experience of the student. Through extensive research with existing and simulated data that compares the new algorithm to the current algorithm, we have ensured that the scale score is still valid and reliable and that it maintains its same level of precision. We know how precious classroom time is, so this change will allow you to get student diagnostic testing completed even faster.
Thank you, Audra. It's imperative that we never compromise the data that educators receive. That will always be our top priority. Based on psychometric best practices, we've carefully determined the appropriate assessment length that will provide the deep level of student information and therefore a precise placement onto that individualized learning path. The recommended reviewing alert for ExactPath's diagnostic assessment is designed to ensure all students receive an accurate learning path that allows them to succeed. This simple alert notifies educators inside the product when a student may not have provided their full effort in responding to test questions and presents a series of options to help you take action. This feature allows you to spot students who responded to questions unusually fast that may have potentially invalid results. Our research team established the criteria for flagging the tests that fall in this pattern based on analyzing millions of student responses to diagnostic test questions. Once the test is flagged, educators can review the test and take action to get learning back on track. Let me turn it over to Brandy, who will demo this feature for you now.
Thanks, Cassie. The recommended reviewing feature is about alerting teachers when a student may not have put in their best effort when taking the diagnostic. As a teacher, you'll be able to immediately see all students that triggered the recommended reviewing notification from your teacher homepage under the notifications area. You'll also be able to see it on the class results area and the overview page of the student summary report. When a student has triggered the recommended reviewing, the teacher will see the notification with a quick link that will take them to the detailed area of the student summary report. From the student summary report, the teacher will have the ability to dig into the full experience of the student's diagnostic. From this view, there's multiple ways to identify when a student is likely not put in their best effort for the diagnostic, therefore making the results not as precise as you would like. From this view, you can look at the total time spent in the assessment, total time spent per item, and you can actually see the flow of the assessment to identify any irregularities in the test-taking process. Once you've had an opportunity to review the student's assessment, you get to make 3 choices about how to move forward for that specific learner. You have the option of automatically resetting and rescheduling the student's diagnostic so they can take it again. You can override the learning path, providing the student with an on-grade level path and most likely more age-appropriate content. You also have the option to ignore the warning. What this will do is reduce the number of places where you're seeing the student identified as needing review, but you do not lose the ability to return to this area and take a different action later if you choose to temporarily ignore the warning. As an administrator, you also have the ability to see a list of all students that were flagged as needing review from your aggregator results area. You are provided with a report that provides you a list of all of the students that were flagged as needing review, plus any action that has been taken on that student since their assessment was flagged. You'll also be able to see the individual instructor that took this action and when she took the action. The recommended reviewing feature is very focused on ensuring that you guys have all the information that you need to ensure your assessment data is as accurate and reliable as possible.
Thank you, Brandy. That was a great demonstration of how Edmentum is working towards creating efficiencies inside the classroom. Now that the diagnostic is complete, it is time for learning. Let's talk a little more about learner engagement. Here at Edmentum, we take great care in ensuring that not only our content is aligned specifically to the domain and skills that are most valuable inside the classroom, but that our students are completely immersed in their learning journey and begin to see themselves in the characters that we have brought to life through the Exact Path content. And what better way to support learning goals than to introduce new characters? These new characters not only help students stay engaged through their time using Exact Path, but they address 3 core issues. Seeing new faces and being able to see themselves on a new mission helps address fatigue. These designs are aspirational rather than on grade levels, so they can see themselves growing at a higher level. The designs were with consideration to the diversity of the learning group. External expert reviews around bias and sensitivity, combined with real student feedback from close to over 300 kids, help mold these characters and truly bring them to life in their own eyes. The magic of Exact Path content is the underlying instructional model. Let me turn it over to Linnell, who will provide you a little insight into our model we are using for the new content in this summer release.
Thanks, Cassie. At Edmentum, we are continually adding new content for learners. And what better way to do that than with these exciting new characters? Earlier, you heard me talk about the responsive instruction model built into Exact Path. This year, we are offering additional reteach lessons that support that responsive instruction model for students who struggle to master a skill. You may recall that they take a building block skill and then come back to a reteach lesson. So to keep our lessons engaging, we have these cool new characters with an updated look that will appeal to today's learner. We're building these lessons into the responsive instruction model for grades 3 through 5 standards that are used by a variety of students at different age levels that are learning at these proficiency skills. Back to you, Cassie.
We are super excited to introduce our new friends to you. And the importance here is that our students are seeing themselves in these characters in the world around them. It is life-changing and even life-saving. Exact Path challenges have proven time and time again to be a useful feature in a way to hold students accountable for learning in and outside of the classroom. We are updating our time on task challenges this summer to mirror precisely what students achieve so educators can feel confident they created a motivational challenge that will also drive academic progress. Instead of time on task challenges rounding up to the nearest minute, they will be precisely timed to reflect learning path usage and 100% aligned to the learning path progress report available to educators today. Additionally, when students hit their challenge goals, time on task and trophies earned will accurately reflect beyond just the target range of the challenge, the current activities levels that they are in. With this release, anything that they accrued in time and task by the student within the challenge window will be counted and displayed on screen, allowing educators to celebrate students that go above and beyond. And every achievement is worth celebrating. When students complete the diagnostic and work their way on their learning path, it is only logical that they want to dig into the data and celebrate their own success by achieving their growth goals. While we have always offered our slick and intuitive detailed reporting for all educators from admin down to classroom teacher, it was imperative that this summer we share the same incredible level of insight with students and parents. For the first time, teachers will have the flexibility to share and provide access to the student summary report directly through the learner interface. This will also not only help students, but also their parents to understand his or her child's learning trajectory by accessing the results from the exact path diagnostic and the learning path progression directly from the learner's account. And now let me have Brandy walk you through where you're able to share these results and where they live on the learner interface.
Thanks, Cassie. Yes, we are very excited that admins and teachers will now have the ability to share student data around ExactPath directly with parents and students. When you share the student summary report, it will include all of the data that the teacher sees today around the student's diagnostic and learning path results. When choosing to share this data with your parents and students, you have two avenues of providing this data. First, you can enable it through Edmentum's Family Sensei. This is a parent portal that allows parents to review student data in their own experience. Family Sensei does need to be enabled at the admin center level for the whole count, and parent contacts will need to be imported in order to leverage Family Sensei. You are also welcome to share it directly to the student through the learner's experience. As a teacher and admin, you will log into ExactPath in your normal way and go to the new Share Student Results tab. Once on this tab, you'll click Share Report, and again, you'll see these two options that you can choose by location, or if you're an instructor, by your class. Once you have toggled on these options that fit right for your district, you can click Save Settings, and automatically those results will be shared with the student or the parent or both if that's what you chose to do. Now that you have shared the student summary report for the students, when the student logs into their account, they will see a new option on the left-hand navigation. When navigating to the reports area, they will see a link to the student report and be able to launch it from their own experience. As I mentioned earlier, it is the exact same report that teachers are able to see. This is designed to help cultivate healthy communication between the student and the teacher as they review the student's results and progress throughout ExactPath. The only difference between this report and the one that the teachers use on a daily basis is that some of the wording inside of the report has been more tailored to the needs of a student and a parent to understand the data that they are seeing. And for a parent, when the report has been shared with the parent, she will receive a notification in her email that a new report has been shared. When she logs into her Parent Sensei, she'll be able to see all the students in her family and notice that there is a new shared report waiting for her to view. From the shared report area, the parent can see all reports that have been shared for all Edmentum products. And when she clicks on the ExactPath report, it will look exactly like what the learner will see in their experience and what the teacher sees in her teacher account. Again, this is all about driving good communication between parents, teachers, and learners as they're all engaged in the student's learning journey.
Thank you, Brandy. Again, that flexibility that Edmentum brings to be able to share these results when you're ready to share them and in time for parent-teacher conferences coming back to the fall as well as in the spring. And really creating that bridge between what is going on inside the classroom from instruction and learning and bridging that into what can be done at home. Really increasing that parent engagement and helping those students see the growth in learning that they've had and celebrate those wins. On behalf of my fellow Edmentors, it has been our pleasure to walk you through this sneak peek for what's to come for ExactPath. At Edmentum, we build everything with you in mind and in a way that drives continuous academic progress everywhere where learning occurs. We designed and refined ExactPath with the whole class in mind and for every single student, because every student needs a chance not only to reach their potential, but explode beyond what they thought ever was imaginable. Wrapped with rigorous research and proven statistical backing, we could not be more confident that together, these updates will prove efficiencies for administrators, access for stakeholders to the information that they need right when they need it, and differentiation of instruction to provide a passion for learning and growing to every student every day.